A little more than 3 weeks ago, a brutal attack rocked Princess Anne when a woman and her 2 children were beaten with a hammer. That woman, Ariel Sells, later died. Her children are still recovering this morning. 26-year-old Sharif Hayward will be in district court today for the assault and murder of Sells. Police say on December 6th, Hayward stabbed Sells and then attacked her and her 2 young children with a hammer. Police say Sells had asked for and was granted a protective order against Hayward the day before the attack. Hayward's court hearing is set for 9 o'clock this morning in Somerset County. A man charged with murder in connection to a man that was found in a shallow grave near a home in Wicomico County earlier this month has his preliminary court hearing today as well. 47-year-old Douglas Harlow is charged with first and second-degree murder and assault, among other charges, for the death of 63-year-old Ronnie Mackert. Mackert's body was found on December 6th, buried outside a home on South Division Street in Fruitland. Harlow is currently being held without bond. His court hearing is set for 3 o'clock this afternoon in Wicomico County. Maryland State Police have arrested 2 people they say stabbed a man in Queen Anne's County earlier this week. 21-year-old William Tulowitzki of Queenstown and 20-year-old Emily Hurt of Stevensville are both charged with attempted murder. Police say the 2 pulled 30-year-old Joseph Lanfranchi into their parked car while he was out walking with his sister on Little Creek Road early Tuesday and stabbed him. Lanfranchi was flown to shock trauma for multiple stab wounds after this attack in Queen Anne's County, but there's no word on his condition this morning. A New Jersey woman and her great-granddaughter, who were missing since Christmas Eve, have been found in a wooded area in rural Virginia. Barbara Briley and her 5-year-old great-granddaughter, Lamira, were last seen at a Virginia gas station over the weekend, driving from New Jersey to North Carolina for the holidays. Around 5:30 last night, police say someone stumbled upon Barbara and Lamira as he was out checking his property. Apparently, the owner saw Barbara's car stuck in the mud and went to investigate.
Fortunately today, he took a path that goes further back in the woods quite a ways, and that's when he came across the vehicle in the woods.
Barbara was flown by helicopter to the hospital. She is still listed in serious condition this morning, but Lamira was checked out and is doing okay. Now investigators are trying to determine what happened and how they ended up that far in the woods there in Virginia. It's a startling statistic. Delaware is now ranked the highest in the country in prescribing opioid medication. However, in the new year, there is new hope to decrease that number. According to the state, in 2016, 90 people died from fentanyl overdoses, compared to only 42 people in all of 2015. However, in 2017, the state plans to use $4 million to educate people about the misuse of prescription opioids, as well as provide resources for those looking to get help. Pauline Powell with Attack Addiction says new ways of prescribing drugs needs to be considered in the state.
Our doctors are not understanding the true nature of addiction with these opioid medications. All it takes for somebody that has addiction problems is going on that medication for after surgery or for an accident, and it can send them right back into addiction where before that they were in recovery and doing well.
The state says if you see someone overdosing, call 911. Under Delaware's Good Samaritan law, people who call 911 to report an overdose cannot be prosecuted for low-level drug crimes. In Dover, a local park will soon be getting a makeover, but only after the community decides what the new artwork will look like. This fence at a park along Division Street in Dover will be replaced in the coming months with a mural painted on a wooden privacy fence. However, the city is putting the decision of the artwork into the hands of locals. Shonda Jackson works with the Restoring Central Dover group. She says their hope is that the mural will represent the town and those who live there.
We want to be able to instill hope and, also pride and ownership with the residents, having them being able to take back their community.
A public meeting for the mural is being held on January 19th. The artwork is expected to focus on the past, present, and future of the city of Dover. In your Delaware State News this morning, read about last night's swearing-in ceremony for the newly elected Kent County officials and how a Hartley woman is bringing aid to victims of the Tennessee fire. The Obama administration is planning to announce retaliatory measures against Russia as early as today. As Roxana Saberi reports, this comes as President-elect Donald Trump continues to downplay the alleged election hacking. Mr. Trump also announced that Sprint would be bringing 5,000 jobs back to the U.S., while startup OneWeb will hire 3,000 people. While you were sleeping, a Queen Anne's County Sheriff's deputy went into surgery in critical condition after he was shot overnight near Chestertown. According to a spokesman for the Sheriff's Department, a call first came in around 9 o'clock last night on Edmore Road for a domestic-related incident. The spokesman tells us a deputy returned to the home a little after midnight with the suspect's wife to get some of her belongings. That's when he says the suspect pulled out a shotgun and fired at the deputy, who then returned fire. Both the deputy and the suspect were injured. The deputy, who has only been identified as a 4-year veteran of the sheriff's office, was flown to shock trauma in Baltimore and as of 3:15 this morning was in critical condition and going into surgery. There's no word on the suspect's condition. Maryland State Police have taken over the investigation in Queen Anne's County. She sang and danced her way into the hearts of millions. Now family, friends, and fans are remembering the life of Debbie Reynolds. As Roxana Saberi reports, the 84-year-old suffered a stroke just a day after the death of her daughter, Carrie Fisher. During her career, Reynolds was nominated for more than a dozen awards, including Golden Globes, Emmys, and an Oscar. She's survived by her son Todd and granddaughter Billy Lord. Raising the minimum wage is going to be one of the big debates in the new year when Delaware state lawmakers return to Dover. Some are hoping to raise minimum wage by 50 cents each year until 2020. At that point, it would be $10.25 an hour. Democratic lawmakers fear the bill will struggle next year, considering the Senate may fall into Republican hands. However, the debate is equally split. Some people say the increase could bring relief, while others say it's not practical.
It's not going to kill any jobs, you know what I mean? It's just going to help people better themselves and their life. That's about it.
Personally, I think it's going to have to be analyzed how it will increase the costs of living as well. But right now, I don't see it being practical. Of course, I'm not an economist, but I think that they should look into it further.
Delaware's minimum wage rose to $8.25 an hour in 2015. In Maryland, the minimum wage went up this year from $8.25 to $8.75, and it's set to increase to over $10 by 2018. In Virginia, minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, which is the federal minimum wage. It has been the same since 2009. The last time the minimum wage went up in Delaware was last year in 2015. That bill in the first stage could be introduced as early as next month. We now know the festivities surrounding the inauguration of Delaware's new governor and lieutenant governor. According to the governor-elect's office, the inauguration ceremony itself will be held January 17th at Legislative Hall in Dover. But the festivities get started the Saturday before with a celebration of the arts in Rehoboth Beach at the Clear Space Theater and another celebration of the arts on that Sunday in Wilmington. Before the inaugural ceremony on the 17th, an interfaith prayer service will be held at Watcote United Methodist Church in Dover. And then an inaugural celebration will be held that night at the Rollins Center at Dover Downs. John Carney will be sworn in as Delaware's new governor and Bethany Hall Long as lieutenant governor. Flags in Maryland are being lowered today to honor a soldier who died of injuries he got in an explosion while fighting in Afghanistan. Sergeant First Class Alan Brown of Tacoma Park, Maryland, died earlier this month at Walter Reed National Medical Center in Bethesda. The U.S. Department of Defense says Sergeant Brown was injured on November 12th when a suicide bomber detonated an improvised bomb inside the base in Bagram, Afghanistan. The Pentagon says Brown was among 16 U.S. service members injured in the attack. Governor Larry Hogan has ordered all flags in Maryland to be lowered to half-staff today from sunrise to sunset in honor of Sergeant Brown. The yellow lines that you see running down the middle of the highway in Ocean City may soon have some blue. A thin blue line will be painted on a stretch of road in front of the police department on 65th Street to honor police. The idea originated in New Jersey, but Mayor Rick Meehan and the City Council thought it would be nice to show their support for police officers in Ocean City. There's no word yet on when the blue line will be painted, but town officials say it will probably be when temperatures warm up in Worcester County.